Hi everyone, my name is Dempling. This is sort of a venting video. I guess it's like I just want to let out some of my thoughts recently, and just I hope that this is gonna help me in a way because I don't have anybody to go to talk about my problems. I cannot afford a therapist, and with my experiences with them, I don't really trust them at all, honestly, and none of my friends, or at least people who I consider friends, would like to hear any of this from me, probably because these days everyone is occupied with their own problems. So, yeah, I guess it's like, I guess part of it does come from the fact that, I'm pretty lonely. And I don't know why that fact has been really getting to me recently. I mean, the past 2 months or so, I've had a lot of self reflection done. And with that self reflection, it caused a lot of realizations, I guess, because now I feel like nothing at all is good these days. Like, nothing matters in a way that's like anything I do doesn't really result in anything, great happening. And maybe it's a bit cynical, perhaps, of me to, talk in this manner, but like, genuinely speaking, I'm not the kind of person that, like, um, I'm not the kind of person who is wholly, like, dependent on others to feel happiness, but like, I like experiencing things and sharing those moments with the others. So it's like, with the way how I am right now, I'm incredibly lonely, and I'm I don't think I'm alone though. I think there's a difference, a big one in fact, between being lonely and just being alone, because I would be fine just being alone because then it would be like I'd just be able to, go around and do my hobbies and just have fun time without anyone else's presence, because I'd just be fulfilled with being myself for the sake of myself. But as I've mentioned just now, I'm not that kind of person. I wanna do things with the others all the time. So now, with me essentially kind of being a loner, it resulted in me just now ending up lonely. And that feeling sucks so much, I gotta tell you. It's it's been it's been an odd experience, I guess. And recently, more and more, I've been having a lot of I've been mulling over my past quite a lot the past month or two, and it's just been a big moment of constant, um, findings about myself and the way my behavior and character is and was at the time. But I would be lying if I said some of the characteristics that were unhealthy back then. I'd be lying if I said some of them don't remain now, because they heavily affect even my modern day relationships with people. I am an incredibly emotionally unavailable person, and I don't know why that even happened in the first place, where I now am scared of ever opening up to people, and that hurt people who were close to me as the result, because I simply wasn't enough for them, and I was really, really bad friend to them. And in the end, I pushed people away because of this big thing that I had. And I think knowing that they're not gonna come back to me now, it's been it's been humiliating knowing that something like this that could have easily have been preventable prevented. I still let those things get to me, and for a big chunk of 2024 I thought that I was improving from my past self, but now I've ended up in this position where, like, I feel like I genuinely just don't matter to anyone anymore. I don't know if it's depression. I didn't feel like this during the time when I did have depression. I feel like right now I feel worse than when I used to have depression, because back then I was just a really, really confused 17-year-old kid and then 18-year-old kid. I was just scared of everything, and I don't know, just I was on the verge of just ending it all, I guess. and right now it just feels different. I don't want to die because I understand that there is much to life to be had, because I'm still only 19 years old. I'm turning 20 in March, but the fact that I'm turning 20 next month has been really daunting to me, because now it made me like think it over and realize, like, hey, I didn't achieve much for my age compared to, other people. And, you know, just generally the things that, your average teenager probably experiences, like going out, having relationships, and just having fun in life and trying out all sorts of things. I never did that. I was stuck in, I was stuck at home like many other teenagers during the pandemic, so I just kind of sat at home and just played video games, and that's sort of it. That damaged, my social life, because then I got social anxiety, and then afterwards I was like, I feel like at the point when I did want to communicate with people, I just didn't pick up on certain social cues, because at that point I, like, entering, teenagehood, however you call it, it was an entirely different experience compared to when I was still like fresh teenager. I just turned 13, 14. Like, I still felt like a kid at the time. And yeah, now a bunch of years passed, and now I'm 19, and looking back, I was always under the belief that, like, I will gain a lot of friends and whatnot. Now I don't have anyone. I I don't know. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, because someone out there probably does care. But right now it feels like at this point, if I would be gone, I would only hurt, you know, people. So now it's like I have a bunch of responsibilities on my back, because I don't want to disappoint the few people that do care for me. Or at least I think they care. But I'd rather want to believe that they do care for me instead of just not. So yeah. So I'm holding all these responsibilities of going out and achieving my dreams, but at the same time, I don't feel good about it. And I don't know how to properly explain it without making it extremely personal. Um, I think, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, I guess. I'm just left with this feeling of like, I feel like no matter what I do at the moment, it's not gonna be good. As I've mentioned before, again, um, I'm just the sort of person who, like, I really like sharing experiences. Well, sharing anything with people, really. Most of my life, I loved all of my friendships I've had with people. And being able to share any kinds of talks with people always made me feel incredibly happy, no matter how mundane they can be and whatnot. But now, I don't have anyone to go to talk about anything, I guess, because with the way I am, I feel like I'm back to pushing people away from me because I'm just afraid of maintaining any sorts of relationships with people because I'm afraid of it going bad. I'm afraid of repeating my mistakes. I want to think that I've gotten better, but I feel like that's just me trying to, I don't know, cope in some way and wanting to think that I changed, but I don't know. I'm just so lonely right now, dude. I don't know where to go and how to feel about all these things that I'm currently experiencing. And yeah, it's just a bit sad to think about that I ended up like this, and nothing is probably gonna change now. I mean, okay, maybe it's a bit too much to say nothing's gonna change, but I don't know, dude. At this point, I'm just worried that nothing is, nothing is gonna get better because of the way I am. And I feel like I'm just now, I feel like after everything, you know, whenever I have some big moments happen in my life, during those big moments, I'm always lonely. And it only recently hit me, just the fact that I always end up like that. So I think it made me consider just the fact that no matter what happens in life, I feel like life itself just essentially pushes that whole narrative and fact that I'm just not cut out for relationships in general. So I'm just scared of now forming connections because as much as there is some beauty in, like, you know, remembering things and like remembering your past friendships with people and, you know, all that talk, but it makes me feel sad that so many of those friendships that I could have still been maintaining to this day, all of it is gone. And with the few people that I think care about me, they, I don't know, I feel guilty about it because then I just have this odd feeling of like, why are you doing that? Because um, I feel like with the fact that I'm just not cut out for relationships and considering how I've heard those people, I've heard many people this way, I it just makes me wonder what the few people who care about me even see in me. Because, again, I don't know how to word it. I'm sorry. I think I'm just continuously empathizing on the fact that nothing is gonna get better on my end. And I think I think I might just spend my life like this at this point. Because no matter what happens, I feel like I'm just repeating myself a lot, aren't I? Man, yeah, just. I wish everything in life was better. And I wish I just wasn't this lonely. Lonely to this extent, really. Because it just really sucks. And I feel a lot of shame in the way I ended up. And I feel bad for my parents and people who did care for me at some point or another. Because now I feel like I'm just a huge disappointment for them. And it's it's humiliating, really, knowing that, you know, I will never be able to make up for them now. It's just sad to think about, I guess. And yeah, I don't know when it'll fix. Right now, it's just the last month or so. Most of my days have just been me laying in bed, just crying myself to sleep at this point. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I don't know who will even watch this video, but for whoever out there that, does, I appreciate the attention, and like, I appreciate that you've taken time out of your day to watch whatever I had to say. Maybe it'll make me feel better knowing if others are going through a similar manner or something, but I'm a small channel, so I'm not expecting any kind of like exposure for this video specifically, but for the few that will end up watching this, maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll bring you some comfort knowing that you're not alone when it comes to feeling lonely. I don't know, I'm just yapping at this point. So yeah. Yeah. I hate being lonely, but I think it's just with the way life is, I just have to embrace that fact, I guess, that I really am, you know, meant to be lonely and be left alone. I don't know at this point. My apologies any of this, if all of this was incoherent at this point. Yeah, I appreciate you watching this, and goodbye.